I work a trip. I'm the forward flight attendant. We go from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and come back to Dallas. So it's gonna be a quick trip. I'm the forward flight attendant, and upon boarding in Colorado Springs, there was this lady who walked on board. She has on these super huge sunglasses, which were super cute, by the way. But she's like the only one walking on board with sunglasses. She comes with the sunglasses, she gets on board, she's walking on the plane. She's like halfway in the middle of the plane, and then she walks back up to the front and she tells me, hey, like, I need your help. And I'm like, yeah, sure, what's going on? She was like, I am partially blind and I don't know where my seat is. Can you help me find my seat? Then it hit me. It literally hit me as to why the blessed flights that I call the bless your heart flights, why I even call them that. Like, now we can put everything together. Before I give you guys a breakdown, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, especially everyone who has joined me on Patreon. We are growing slowly but surely, but I really appreciate everyone who has joined me there. You know, we're a close-knit little family, and I'm happy to upload on there and here as well. Of course, I haven't been able to do as much because I'm adjusting to my new schedule, but we're gonna be back on track. If you're not on Patreon with me, go ahead and subscribe to my Patreon. What are you doing? Okay, I have great topics on there, great story times on there. I actually have a video coming up tomorrow that I will be posting about the difference between being on reserve as a line holder and some tips and tricks that I have learned as being a line holder that will help you if you are a new flight attendant and you just want to know how to have a smooth journey as a line holder. I also want to mention, if you didn't know, I do have consultation services where we can talk about honestly whatever you want to talk about, okay? I've had plenty of consultations where I'm helping other people just like you who's watching who are interested in becoming a flight attendant. I've been granted with the opportunity to help others with their interview process, test questions, study tips, life after training, IOE, all that good stuff. So if you need help with those things, scheduling, and the list goes on, honey, okay? Test questions, all that good stuff. Whatever you need more help or you need a little more detail on, reach out to me on pristinepores@gmail.com and book a consultation with me so we can sit down and have a one-on-one and discuss. Also, if you have questions that aren't really related to the flight attendant realm and you just want to talk, you know what to do. Consultation. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's only so much we can say on YouTube, okay? So consultation, okay? Book a consultation. Let's chat. You know that I'm not gonna waste your time. All my videos, I'm putting you on game and giving you a new perspective, tips, tricks. So a consultation is the same vibe, all right? Anyways, let's get back into the story. So the woman tells me that she is partially blind and she needs help getting to her seat. So I'm like, of course, I'm happy to help. I asked for her boarding pass. I take a look at her boarding pass. She's actually sitting in 4D. So she walked well past her seat. And I help her get to her seat and she's all good to go. I believe that she was just partially blind in one eye and not the other. However, you know, she needed help, so I helped her. Okay, boom, that's fine. Now, the blessed flights, as I mentioned, are Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, right? Now, with the blessed flights, the reason why I call it that is because every time I have those flights, there are people who, as soon as they get on board, they just don't know where to sit, okay? They act like they don't know where to sit. They're not even acting. They literally just sit down anywhere, and then we end up being delayed in our boarding process because I'm busy moving people to their correct seat, telling people to, hey, you're sitting in the wrong seat, you're sitting in the wrong seat, you're sitting in the wrong seat. It will be like 5 people sitting in the wrong seat, and that messes up everyone's seating, right? After this lady in Colorado asked me for help, that's what made me realize. Also, I don't even know why it took me this long to put two and two together, but with her asking me that question, it made me realize that these people that board the plane and sit in the wrong seat, they don't know where to read to find their seat, number one. And number two, it is hard to read. Now, as someone, I have good vision by the grace of God. You know, I can see pretty well. However, on our planes, the seat number is, not only is it very small, right? It's a small font, but it's also a gray font. So if you don't have the best vision, you're gonna miss that. You're not even gonna see it. And for me, working as a flight attendant, and I know where each seat is by heart at this point on each plane, it's easy for me, and I'm like, I can't resonate with the passengers because I'm like, you don't know where you're sitting? Like, what? But when that lady asked me that question, I'm like, oh my God, the majority of the population wears glasses, contacts, and whatever the case may be. And I'm like, this is hard to read. So when I have these Southern flights, it's not even a matter of these people not knowing where to sit. I believe it's actually a matter of not being able to see where you're supposed to be seated because it's so small and it's the same color as basically the overhead bin. It's literally like 2 shades darker, which does not help. And let me know, this may also be a reach, but the people who board the plane, they just have too much pride to just ask me, where am I supposed to be seated? Where is my seat located? I can't read it. I can't read it. Like, I would never assume someone just cannot read. Of course not. But if someone just straight up said, hey, I don't have my glasses with me, I'm not wearing my contacts, like, I don't know where to look to see where my seat is, can you help me? That's fine. But so many people will honestly just get on the plane and just sit anywhere because they don't know where to look and just hope for the best and hope that they're not sitting in someone's seat. Or they think it's a Southwest flight and you can sit anywhere, first come, first serve, which is not the case on my flights. So they just sit anywhere. So I'm like, now it's one of the two, okay? You have too much pride to ask me where you're seated and you're just taking the risk. Or you think this is a Southwest flight and you're just gonna sit wherever. You guys let me know in the comments. Honestly, I haven't had enough flights going up north to give an accurate answer as to who has more pride, people up north or people down south, because I have a lot of Southern flights. So I'm just gonna keep it to those 4 states. They have a lot of pride, or they're not bringing their contacts and glasses on board, which I don't know why people don't like wearing their glasses. I think glasses are cute. It gives a nice, sophisticated look. Like, wear the glasses, hun. Glasses are cute. Pristine Posse is for the glasses, okay? Glasses. Let me know if you have glasses in the comments, okay? I don't know what life is like putting in contacts every day. Sounds like a hassle because it's already too much just to put on lashes. So putting something in my eye, no, that's a no for me. So I could feel you on the contacts, but the glasses, you can put the glasses on, okay? If you made it this far, drop sunglasses emoji, glass emoji in the comments for me, okay? Make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. So now, the real question, what do you do when people are sitting in the wrong seat? Let's talk about it. This is the flight attendant etiquette that they do not teach you in flight attendant training, because it can go really, really left. I've seen other flight attendants just become super assertive and delegating and pointing the finger and you move, you move, you move. And it just sets a bad vibe on the plane. So I think I need to do a whole segment of flight attendant etiquette to avoid the drama Let me know if I should do that in the comments. First things first, someone comes up to you and says, hey, someone's sitting in my seat. I'm sitting in 14B and someone's sitting there. First thing I do, make an announcement. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, can I have everyone please take a look at your boarding pass and ensure that you are sitting in the correct seat. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please take a look at your boarding pass to ensure that you are sitting in the correct seat. Thank you. Click. So always say your announcements twice and do not rush through it, because the first time you say it, people are gonna be like, what, did she say something? And now the second time that you say it, and slowly and project your voice, then they'll be like, oh, she said take a look at your boarding pass. Okay, I'm gonna look at my boarding pass and make sure I'm in the right seat. That's number one. Now, the person who comes to me and says someone is sitting in my seat, I always do that announcement and then I take a look at their boarding pass, because this has happened so many times, more times than I can count on my fingers, okay? I look at their boarding pass and they have a connecting flight and they're looking at a pass for the next flight and not the current flight that we're on. So for instance, if they're going from DFW to LAX and then LAX to Chicago, they're looking at the boarding pass for LAX to Chicago, and that's their 14B is their seat on that flight. And then I'm like, okay, we're actually looking at the wrong boarding pass. Can you pull up the one for this flight, DFW to LAX? So that's like the number one thing, honestly. So after that, pull up the boarding pass. Okay, you're sitting in 14B. Someone actually is in your seat. Cool. At this time, after I've already made those two announcements, I go up to 14B, go to that row, and to avoid all conflict, I just let them know, hey, I have a gentleman over here who also has the seat 14B. I think the gate agent made a little bit of a mistake. May I take a look at your boarding pass? Boom, okay? Blame it on the gate agent. Blame everything on the gate agent, okay? When in doubt, blame it on the gate agent, okay? Blame it on the gate agent, because the last thing you wanna do is make the passenger feel uncomfortable or feel stupid. Like, how could you sit in the wrong seat? Get up. Like, no. And I've seen people do that. I've actually seen other flight attendants say, you're in the wrong seat, you need to get up. And it's rude and it just sets a bad vibe. And I've seen people go back and forth. And it's like, you approached them in such a negative way that I can see why they started yelling at you. Like, you're being rude, you're being nasty. Like, maybe it was a pure accident. Maybe they also had two boarding passes. So come to them with that approach. Just say, can I take a look at your boarding pass? And the reason why I say just say take a look at the boarding pass, because you need confirmation. Because if you just go up to them and say, are you supposed to be seated in 14B? They're gonna say yes. Like, why would they say no? So skip all of that and just get the boarding pass. Every time I approach someone, I do that. They happily pull up the boarding pass. When they pull it up, this has literally happened. The person is sitting in the wrong seat, and it may just be they're sitting in 14B and their seat is 13B, and they just looked at the rows wrong. That's kind of what happens, honestly. Or someone else is sitting in their seat. It'll be something like that. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, your boarding pass actually says 13B, so you're actually supposed to be right here. And they're like, oh, okay. Then they move. And that's how you handle that. Now, if somebody is sitting in 13B, right, then you do the same thing. May I take a look at your boarding pass? Because we also have another passenger who was also assigned 13B. And I just want to make sure that the gate agent didn't make a mistake. I've actually never had the gate agent make that mistake, but whatever. Blame it on the gate agent. Take the pressure off the passengers. Keep the vibe cool, okay? So that's how you handle that. And please do not get in the habit of just telling someone, oh, just sit anywhere, because if they sit anywhere and then let's say we have standbys coming on board, the standbys may be in that assigned seat and then you're still gonna run into that same problem. That's one. Then two, let's say there's a passenger who just gets disruptive, who's drunk, who's just starts being nasty or rude. The only way to get their information is to look at the manifest and see where they're sitting and line that up with their name. But if you let anyone sit anywhere they want, then you don't know who's who, okay? And what are the chances that the person who's being disruptive is gonna give you their ID? They're not. So make sure people are sitting in their correct seat so that if anything happens, you can correctly identify them if need be. That's all I got for you guys. Let me know if you've ever boarded a plane and somebody was sitting in your seat. What did you do? Did you just move to another seat? Did you tell the flight attendant that somebody's in my seat? Did you tell them? And I don't even know why people are so afraid to just tell the person that's sitting in your seat, you're in my seat. Like, I don't know why. People will avoid that confrontation and bring it to me so I can have the confrontation with them. And I'm like, but I'll do it because that's my job. But you gotta handle it with grace, handle it with ease to keep the vibe cool on board, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.